If you're a romance anime fan, 2026 is genuinely one of the best years in recent memory to be watching. The season is stacked. New shows covering every flavor of the genre you could want: supernatural comedy, time travel, fantasy, secret otaku chaos, slow burns, and action romance, alongside two of the most beloved sequel franchises finally delivering on years of build-up. Today, we're going through 10 of them. For each anime, I'm going to talk about the story, the staff, the studio, the cast, what the source material is, and what you can realistically expect from the adaptation. No lists, no bullet points, just everything you need to know in the order that makes sense. Let's go. Mistress Canon is devilishly easy. Kanon-sama wa Akamad Koroi. Kanon-sama wa Akamad Koroi, officially titled in English as Mistress Canon is Devilishly Easy, premieres April 5th, 2026 on Tokyo MX and BS11, with a Crunchyroll simulcast confirmed. It's based on a manga by Nanko that's been running in Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine since June 2022, currently at 10 collected volumes in Japan. 7 Seas Entertainment has the English license, with Volume 1 dropping in July 2026, and there are already 8 volumes available in Brazil. The premise is simple, and the execution is everything. Canon Zeeble is a 1,000-year-old demon who has infiltrated a human high school, posing as the head of the Public Morals Committee, with a mission to fatten up student souls until they're ready to be devoured. Her first target is a student named Yoji Kyogi. She reveals herself to him, announces her plans, and waits for the expected reaction. He says he's always dreamed of being devoured by a beautiful demon, and that he's completely at her disposal. He's genuinely, helplessly in love with her before the conversation is even over. Canon has absolutely no idea what to do with this. She's ancient, she's supposed to be terrifying, and instead she ends up agreeing to date him as a temporary arrangement until she figures out how to go through with her mission. The temporary arrangement does not remain temporary. The central comedic engine of the series is a perfectly constructed inversion. Canon is the one who is supposed to be threatening, and she ends up being emotionally outmaneuvered at every single turn. Kyogi isn't naive. He's warm, assertive, and completely genuine, which makes him immune to everything in her toolkit. Beyond the main couple, the series has strong supporting characters. Ami, Canon's demon attendant who watches everything unfold with barely contained despair. Jean, a celestial apostle sent from heaven to stop Canon who is so incompetent she ended up living under a bridge in a cardboard house. And Canon's mother Lilum, who appears later and generates some of the funniest scenes in the whole manga. The anime is produced by Studio KAI, known for Uma Musume Pretty Derby's first season, Fudo Tanti, and Super Cub, and directed by Yasushi Miroya, who has episode credits on Bastard, Blue Lock, and Fairy Tail. The series composition is handled by Rintaro Ikeda, who wrote the scripts for Kimi wa Hokugo Insomnia, a show that knew exactly when to let comedy breathe and when to let emotional moments land. The score is by Shuhei Mitsuki, who composed for Lycoris Recoil, and character design is by Akari Minagawa. The opening theme is Hatsukoi Moment by Falyu, and the ending is Pop, Snack, Junk Na Honey by Aijirai High School. Canon is voiced by Aoi Koga, the voice of Kagaya Shinomiya in Kagaya-sama, Love is War, Komi in Komi Can't Communicate, and Yaforger in Spy X Family. That casting is the single most important thing to know about this production. Koga has built her career on playing composed, controlled female leads with very specific moments of total composure breakdown, which is exactly Canon's character. The gap between her Iron Rule public persona and her constant internal chaos is where all the comedy lives, and there's no one better suited to walk that line. Yoji is voiced by Saikiro Yamashita, known for voicing Takemiki in Tokyo Revengers, and he brings exactly the kind of warm, unshakable sincerity the character needs. This is one of the cleanest casting matches of the season, and the trailer already confirms the chemistry is there. I made friends with the second prettiest girl in my class. I made friends with the second prettiest girl in my class. The Japanese title is Class to 2 Bam Ni Kawaii Ononoko to Tomodachi Ni Nata, premieres April 7th, 2026 on Tokyo MX, and Crunchyroll is expected to carry the simulcast. It's based on a light novel series by Takata that began on Kadokawa's Kakayomu platform in November 2020, with 8 volumes now published under the Sneaker Bunko imprint. The series won the Next Light Novel Award in 2023, has sold over 1 million copies in Japan, and Yen Press holds the English license for both the novel and its manga adaptation. The premise sounds deceptively simple, but the execution is what makes it stand out. Maki Mai Hara is a complete social wallflower in high school. No real friends, no particular ambitions socially, mostly invisible. Somehow, without any dramatic inciting event, he ends up becoming close with Yui Asanagi, the girl his classmates quietly consider the second cutest in their year after her best friend Uemami. Every Friday, instead of spending time with the popular crowd, Asanagi comes over to Maki's apartment. They play video games, watch movies, eat snacks, drink soda. No performances, no social masks. Just two people who are genuinely comfortable with each other, and a story that trusts those ordinary shared moments to carry the emotional weight rather than manufacturing misunderstandings or dramatic confessions to fill the runtime. The anime is produced by Studio Connect and directed by Hideki Tachibana, who directed Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, and The Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. Series composition is once again Keiichiro Oki, who is somehow involved in multiple romance titles this same season, and his instinct for emotional pacing without forcing drama is exactly what this material needs. Character design is handled by Shoko Takimoto, and the score brings together Ruka Kawada, Yayoi Sekamukai, and Shuhei Mitsuki. The opening theme is Submarine Youth by Regret Girl, and the ending is Zudo Ichiban and I Shy Teen by Korsawa, both well matched to the series' quiet, unhurried energy. Maki is voiced by Haruki Ishii, and Asanagi is voiced by Monika Iwami, who is simultaneously voicing Mahiru Shina in Angel Next Door Season 2 this same season, making her arguably the most in-demand romance female lead of spring 2026. Uemami is voiced by Seumi Suzushiro and Nina Nitta by Ikumi Hasegawa. The full supporting cast brings some real standout names, which matters because the series doesn't live exclusively on the main couple. The friendships around Maki are part of what makes his transformation feel earned. This is the quiet sleeper pick of the season. It doesn't announce itself loudly, but it has everything needed to be the one people are still talking about by the end of the core. Hybra's Teenage New Game Plus. Hybra's Teenage New Game Plus, Japanese title Hybrakuen no Tsukyut Seishin New Game, premieres in April 2026 on TBS and BS11. The source material is a light novel series by Kazuki Amemiya published under Hobby Japan's H.J. Bunko imprint, currently at 9 volumes as of July 2025. It won the grand prize at the H.J. Novel Award in 2020, and J-Novel Club publishes the English version. Natsuki Hybara is finishing his last year of college and looking back on his high school years with nothing but regret. He spent all 3 years completely isolated, no friends, no relationships, no memories worth keeping. Then, inexplicably, he wakes up 7 years in the past, 1 month before the start of his first year of high school. He has his adult mind, his fully formed personality, and all the painful clarity of someone who watched his own adolescence flatline in real time. He immediately puts together what he calls his Rainbow Youth Plan, use everything he now knows to build the social life he never had, and this time actually approach Hikari Hashimiya, the girl he was secretly in love with but never came close to talking to the first time around. What separates this from typical time travel romance is the motivation. This isn't a naive teenager getting a second chance at something he didn't know he wanted. It's an adult who knows exactly what he lost and exactly why he lost it, which gives the romance a weight that most school stories can't manufacture. Whether Hybara actually becomes someone worthy of Hikari, rather than just optimizing his way into proximity with her, is the real dramatic question the series spends its time on. The anime is produced by Studio Comet and directed by Misuzu Hoshino, who directed Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, a show with strong genre sensibility and real skill for comedy that doesn't sacrifice emotional sincerity. Series composition is by Keiichiro Oki, who at this point seems to be everywhere in spring 2020 SIXS romance lineup. Music is by Sanosuke Takao, who also scored Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, suggesting this is a genuine creative reunion between director and composer. The opening is Fly Again by Ami Maishima and the ending is Dramatic Tahiko by Aimi. Hybara is voiced by Yuto Uemura, known for its Sushi Nakajima in Bungo Stray Dogs, and Hikari is voiced by Kanon Takao, who played Sakiko Tagawa in Bang Dream. It's My G.O. The supporting cast also includes Seumi Suzushiro as Yuino, who is additionally voicing Uemami in the second Prettiest Girl adaptation this same season. Strong production, well-matched staff, and source material with genuine emotional depth underneath the comedic premise. I Want to End This Love Game. I Want to End This Love Game, Japanese title Aishitaru Game wa Owarasitai, premieres April 14th, 2026 on Tokyo MX and other networks, with Crunchyroll expected for the international simulcast. It's based on a manga by Yuki Demoto, serialized on Shagakukan's Sunday Webry since December 2021, with 7 volumes in print as of June 2025. Viz Media publishes the English version. Yukiya Asagi and Miku Sakura, have been childhood friends since elementary school. In 6th grade, they invented a game together. Take turns saying, "I love you" to each other, and the first one to get flustered and blush loses. Playful, harmless, the kind of thing kids come up with without thinking about consequences. For years later, they're entering high school and the game is still technically ongoing because neither of them has admitted defeat. The problem is that somewhere along the way, both of them actually caught real feelings, not game feelings. And now every round is being played with entirely different stakes than the rules account for. They're both desperate to win, and even more desperate not to let the game end, because ending it means admitting something they're both terrified to say out loud. The anime is produced by Felix Film, who made Teasing Master Takagi-san, which is the most important piece of context you can have going in. That franchise's entire identity is built on a very specific comedic tension between two people who clearly like each other and spend an entire show dancing around it, and the move to "I Wanna End This Love Game" feels like a completely natural creative home for this material. The studio knows the rhythms. Direction is handled by Azuma Tani, series composition by Keiichiro Oki, yes, him again, and the score is by Akito Matsuda, who composed for the Sound, Euphonium franchise, and Non-Baiori. Matsuda is particularly good at scoring moments of quiet emotional intensity that land without overselling themselves, which is exactly the register this series lives in. The opening is Kimi no Sei de Aishiteru by Chico with Honeyworks, and the ending is Little World by Pampadeles. Yukiya is voiced by Kaido Ishikawa, Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen, Nagato in Boruto, and Miku is voiced by Miku Ito, who played Miku Nakano in the quintessential quintuplets. Both are performers with strong comedy timing and the ability to make vulnerability feel earned. Two people who genuinely love each other playing an increasingly desperate game of emotional chicken, voiced by two of the genre's best. This one has everything it needs to be a standout. Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku? Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku? Japanese title Otaku Nai Yasashiai Gal Waranai? Premieres April 8, 2026 on TV Asahi, with a Crunchyroll simulcast. The source manga is by Norishiro-chan for the story and Sakana Wozumi for the art, serialized in Comix's monthly comic Xenon since August 2021, and currently at 11 volumes with over 1 million copies in circulation. Yen Press holds the English license. Takuya Seo is a high school student whose entire personality is his love of Kiramon, a magical girl-style kids anime. He draws fan art, talks too fast about it, and has zero social capital. He exists in a completely different universe from the two popular gals who sit in front of him, the cool, model-type Kei Amain and the endlessly sunny Kotoko Ajichi. Then one day Takuya makes a passing comment about a specific Kiramon episode, and Amain corrects him on the detail with the casual precision of someone who has watched it multiple times. She immediately denies being a fan, says it's not her kind of thing, but the familiarity is too specific and too immediate to explain away, and from that moment, Takuya starts to see the gap between who Amain presents herself as and who she actually is. The secret otaku romantic comedy is a genre with well-established conventions at this point, but this series earned its readership because the story does real work with Amain beyond the central gimmick. The gap between her meticulously constructed cool girl exterior and her genuine love of a kids show is inherently funny, but the series is also genuinely interested in what it means to hide something you love because of social expectations, and what it means when someone sees you anyway. The anime is produced by TMS Entertainment Studio 6, who are also handling Rent-a-Girlfriend Season 5 this same season, and directed by Shin Mita. Character design is handled by Ryan Matsuda, who also designed characters for Girlfriend, and Reborn to master the blade, giving the series a clean and expressive visual style that suits the comedic tone. Takuya is voiced by Sho Komura, Amain by Konomi Inagaki, and Kotoko by Yu Serizawa, a reliable pickup for anyone who likes their romance female lead to be carrying a secret that genuinely changes how you understand her. The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King. The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King, Japanese title Himikishi wa Barbaroi no Yome, premieres April 9th, 2026 on AdX and other networks, with Crunchyroll confirmed for the international simulcast. It's based on a manga by Noriaki Kotoba, serialized in Kodansha's Basatsu Shonen magazine since January 2021 with 8 volumes in print. The anime was originally scheduled for October 2025 before being delayed specifically to improve production quality, which is a better reason for a delay than most, and a sign the team actually cares about getting it right. Serafina de Lavalent is the strongest female knight in the West. She's sent east on a military campaign to subjugate what her kingdom calls barbaric tribes. The mission fails, and she's captured alive. Expecting torture and execution, she asks to be put to death rather than face whatever comes next. Instead, the tribal king Veer proposes marriage. What follows is a story that systematically takes apart every assumption Serafina brought with her about the East, about what barbaric means, about the people her kingdom told her were less than human. Veer is intelligent, composed, and genuinely interested in Serafina as a person rather than a conquest or a political prize. The culture she was trained to conquer turns out to be far more complex and far more humane than anything she was prepared for. The fantasy romance genre lives or dies on whether the central dynamic is built on genuine mutual respect or just proximity, and this series has the bones for the former. Serafina is not passive. She's strong. She has agency, and her development throughout the story is about learning to apply her strength in a context that's fundamentally different from the battlefield she trained for. The anime is produced by Studio Jamandu, who previously made Villainous Level 99, and the series composition and character design team are well matched to the material. For fans of the captive or arranged marriage romance subgenre who want something that earns its emotional beats rather than relying on the premise alone, this is the most distinct fantasy romance pick of the season. Yaweawa Teacher, Ms. Feeble. Yaweawa Teacher, which translates roughly as Feeble Teacher or Ms. Feeble, premieres April 11th, 2026 on AT-X and other networks. It's based on a manga by Kamio Fukuchi, serialized in Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine since November 2022, currently at 16 volumes as of early 2026. 16 volumes of source material for a first season means there's no risk of running out of content. Hiyori Hiwamura just graduated from college and started her first job as a high school English teacher. She has a soft voice, almost no physical stamina, gets out of breath from mild exertion, is chronically clumsy, and brings a notebook full of sticky notes to every class because she needs them to function. Somehow, the sticky notes have given rise to a rumor among students that she's placing curses on people, and now the entire school is terrified of the teacher they've dubbed Scary Sensei. While Hiyori has absolutely no idea why everyone keeps avoiding her, second-year student Akihito Abikura sees through the reputation immediately. He notices that she's not frightening at all. She's just completely overwhelmed and nobody is helping her. And so he starts to. The comedy lives in the gap between Hiyori's terrifying reputation and her actual reality, and the series only works if she's genuinely sympathetic rather than just a prop for the punchline, which it is, because Fukuchi wrote her as a fully formed character who is genuinely trying her best under genuinely difficult circumstances. The student-teacher dynamic is handled with Abikura's perspective as a student kept firmly in place throughout. The tone is admiration and protectiveness, not anything inappropriate, and the show is consistent about that framing. The anime is produced by Brains Base and directed by Hiroshi Ishidori, who previously directed Kiss Him Not Me, a show that required a very specific kind of comedic sensitivity to work, and worked because of it. Hiyori is voiced by Marika Kono and Abikura by Kakeru Hatano. Kono has the register to make a soft-spoken character feel present and distinct rather than passively fading into the background, and the promotional material suggests she's already nailing exactly that balance. Brains Base has a solid track record with school romantic comedies, and this is a title that deserves more attention than it's currently getting. Marriagetoxin. Marriagetoxin premieres April 7th, 2026, with a Crunchyroll simulcast. It's based on a manga by Fido Maikeen serialized in Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine, and the announcement that generated the most noise when it was made wasn't about the story, it was about which studio is producing it. That studio is Bones. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, My Hero Academia, Mob Psycho 100, Bungo Stray Dogs, that Bone. Hikaru Kirigakure is one of the world's most dangerous assassins. He's also completely hopeless at human interaction, which becomes a genuine operational problem when his organization demands that he get married and maintain civilian cover. His solution is to recruit Mei Tahara, a professional marriage con artist who specializes in making people fall completely in love with her, to coach him in the basic mechanics of appearing like a normal person who is capable of being liked. Hikaru can eliminate a target 17 different ways and has no idea how to ask someone about their day. Mei can make anyone fall for her in under an hour and is now surrounded by professional assassins. The action romantic comedy premise is built on two people who are both experts at a specific kind of deception operating in completely separate fields, being forced into proximity and gradually becoming the one person the other can't perform around. Direction is handled by Tensho, who has episode credits on My Hero Academia Seasons 4 and 5, which means the action sequences this premise will inevitably require are in genuinely excellent hands. Character design is by Takahiro Kishida, who designed the characters for Bungo Stray Dogs, a series that shares genre DNA with Marriagetoxin in terms of stylish action paired with real emotional investment in its characters. Hikaru is voiced by Soma Saito and Mei by Kana Hanazawa, who can deliver meticulous, controlled warmth and vulnerability simultaneously, in exactly the way this character needs. For romance fans who want their slow burn wrapped in beautiful animation and actual stakes, this is the pick of the season. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten Season 2. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten returns for its second season on April 3rd, 2026 on Tokyo MX, with Crunchyroll carrying the simulcast. The source material is a light novel series by Seiki-san published under GA Bunko with 11 volumes in Japan, and Yen Press holds the English license. Season 1 aired in winter 2023 and earned its reputation by doing something rare in the genre. It built its central romance through patience rather than manufactured drama. Amaine Fujimiya was a quiet, messy high school student living alone. Mahiru Shina was the girl next door that the entire school called an angel, beautiful, composed, and seemingly untouchable. A rainy day encounter brought them together. A friendship developed over shared meals and honest conversations, and by the end of Season 1 the relationship had finally moved into honest territory. Season 2 picks up from exactly that point. Amaine and Mahiru are officially a couple now, and the story shifts to what that actually looks like. Two people with their own emotional baggage figuring out how to be genuinely with each other, openly, in front of the world they'd been keeping their friendship hidden from. The production sees a director change from Season 1. Chihiro Kumano steps in for Lee Hua Wong, bringing experience in quiet and understated storytelling that suits the series' sensibility. The rest of the core staff is returning. Series composition by Keiichiro Oki, character design by Takayuki Noguchi, music by Mo Hyuga, and the studio, Project Number 9, is back as well. Amaine is voiced by Taito Ban, Mahiru by Monika Iwami, and the supporting cast of Taku Yashiro and Haruka Shiraishi returns alongside them. If Season 1 was about two lonely people discovering each other, Season 2 is about the harder and more vulnerable work of actually being with someone, which is the better story, and the one this series earned the right to tell. Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 5. Rent-A-Girlfriend returns for its fifth season in April 2026 on the Animeism block on TBS and MBS, with Crunchyroll carrying the international simulcast. The source manga by Reiji Miyajima has been running in Weekly Shonen Magazine since 2017, and is at 43 volumes as of late 2025, with Kodansha USA publishing it in English. The production is a direct continuation of Season 4. Both seasons are covering the same arc, the Hawaiians arc, which was originally planned as a single two-cour run before being split with a break in between. If you're new, Kazuya Kinoshita is a college student who gets dumped, uses a rental girlfriend service in a moment of desperation, and meets Chizuru Mizuhara, a rental girlfriend who is stunning, professional, and immediately complicated. Their families turn out to be connected in a way that makes it impossible to simply end the arrangement. Chizuru has her own dreams, her own reasons for the job, and a wall between her professional self and who she actually is that Kazuya keeps stumbling up against without quite understanding it. The series has been running for 5 seasons because something in that central tension holds, even when the pacing frustrates people. The key visual for Season 5 pairs Chizuru and Mami, Kazuya's original ex, facing each other directly, which is a deliberate choice. Their dynamic has always been one of the most quietly loaded in the series. The tagline on that visual translates to "Now, the fateful moment has arrived," which is the clearest signal the production has given that things are finally moving somewhere real. Director Kazuomi Koga is back after helming Season 4. The full staff is consistent with what carried the previous season, and the cast remains unchanged. Shun Hori as Kazuya, Sora Amamiya as Chizuru, Aoi Yuki as Mami, Nao Toyama as Ruka, Ri Takahashi as Sumi, and Yu Serizawa as Minnie. Amamiya is also performing the opening theme, Non-Scenario Etude, which she wrote and composed herself, and the ending is 204 Go Shitsu by Nakagoto. 5 seasons in, the people who are still watching already know why they're still watching. Season 5 is the one where they find out if it was worth it. That's the full list, 10 romance anime of 2026 covering pretty much every direction the genre goes. Quiet slow burns, supernatural chaos, time travel built on genuine regret, assassins being coached in basic human interaction, and 2 franchise sequels finally delivering on years of setup. The production quality across the board is strong, the source material is proven, and spring 2026 is shaping up to be one of those seasons you'll still be recommending things from a year from now. Drop a like if this helped you figure out your watch list, and subscribe so you don't miss the episode breakdowns as the season actually kicks off in April. Let me know in the comments which of these you're most excited about. I want to know how many of you already knew about Kanon-sama, because it deserves way more attention than it currently has outside of manga readers. See you in the next one.